This episode of Chewing the Fat is brought to you by the Secret Hub Studios in conjunction with netchannel2.com.
Good evening, everyone. Chewing the Fat, episode 28, live from Brisbane. Erik Franco coming your way, and we have Glenn Goodman, who's running the board. Hello, Glenn.
Hello, everyone. Yes, and Erik is in the land of the blue.
Man, that's right. We are swimming in blue, everyone. And everywhere I turn, people are smiling and their heads up high, and they're not looking at the ground looking for the 10-cent piece they dropped 5 years ago because they got no money.
Phones are ringing. People are singing.
Right. That's right. And the communists had their first meeting, and they all went there in the same Tarago.
That's right. Well, that's if you didn't hear the joke through the week, it's what's the difference between a Tarago and the Labor Party? And the answer, of course, in Queensland this is, and the answer, of course, is a Tarago has more seats. So there you go.
That's right. 8 seats as opposed to 7, and even 7 is too many for that moronic group of people who couldn't run a piss up in a brewery. Never mind.
Never mind. What's the other one? Couldn't. There's a few other sayings, isn't there?
There's a rude one I know that I've been hearing for many years, but I won't repeat here.
Well, that hasn't stopped you before. All right.
No, that's true, but this one is quite real. So,
all right.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to be good tonight.
Oh, no, don't tell me. All right. So, so tell me. So, Erik, you're in Brisbane. When did you come up? What are you doing?
I came up on, when did I come up? Wednesday afternoon, yesterday.
Yep.
Did a bit of preparation for a conference I went to today, and go home tomorrow.
Now, it was a bean counter conference?
Indeed it was.
Right, nice. would have been exciting.
Oh, geez, I tell you. If I see one more brown suit...
You don't have a brown one then?
I don't wear suits, mate.
Good. What are they doing wearing...
I haven't worn a tie in 10 years.
Yeah, what are they doing wearing ties in Queensland anyway? Who do they think they are? Fair income, come on.
That's right. Well, they're always in air-conditioned bloody offices, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that's right.
So,
come on.
But on my way up, I don't like flying Jetstar because they're like Virgin, who are like Qantas. Well, they're all useless, really, but never mind. I don't like flying Jetstar, because it's a bit of a free-for-all. You don't get... if you just pay the lowest common denominator ticket, you don't get a seat. You don't get an allocated seat.
That's right. Yeah.
So you don't, unless you've got kids with you. They let you board first, and you can pick your seat. So that's fine. So I thought, well, that's not going to happen to me because I don't have any children with me. So I paid to pick a seat.
And how much does that cost? How much does that cost?
Oh, look, I don't know, $30 each way or something like that.
Okay, right. Yep.
So I got seat 3A.
Yep.
That enabled me to get on and off before anyone else. So boarding at Sydney, they said, this is exactly what you said. Those with, on their ticket, it says PBRD, or some combination of those letters, you can board now. Right. So I thought, that's me. My ticket, that's me, so they must be calling us. So I said, I went up there, and 2 or 3 people went in before me. I went through. She looked at me, didn't look at my ticket, looked at me, and said, "I'm sorry, sir. only
Australians.
People with PBRB on the ticket." And I showed her the ticket and said, "I've got it. So we'll have to stand over there. We'll call you in a minute." And I said, "Okay, fine. Okay, maybe they're just doing it in odd numbers or even numbers. Seats 2, 4, and 6 go first, and then 1, 3, 5 will go next. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sometimes they do just to minimise the crowd." So I thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's cool. I've been on a plane 1,000 times. These things happen. You don't care. You don't get too riled up about it. And then about 2 minutes later, maybe 3 minutes later, she taps her microphone, and I know she's going to say something. Oh, this will be me. Says now, and then she says, "Righto, now everyone else can board now."
So what's going on? You paid your $30, but you didn't get your seat.
Yeah, well, I got my seat, but I didn't board first. And by the time I walked around back to the line, every other sucker on the planet who didn't pay to board first was in front of me. So there was 50 people in front of me, fat, slow, old, smelly, you name it.
Oh, look. So what, did you blow up?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So I went. So when I finally got to the girl, I said, "Excuse me," and I explained to her what happened, pretty much what I explained to you.
Yeah.
And she got all shirty and she got all defensive. You know, I said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, sir, that wasn't my mistake." I said, "Well, yes, it was your mistake, but please understand that sometimes apologising for it doesn't exactly cut the mustard when you shouldn't have screwed up in the first place on something as simple as that."
Well, yeah, that's right.
I showed you my ticket. You've been doing this job long enough to know how to read that my ticket says I should have boarded, and you could have looked at my ticket and go, "Oh, sorry, sir, yes, you can board now." But no, you still stood me. You looked at my ticket and you still pushed me aside. And she apologised again, and then I was just getting cranky because she was trying to just wipe the whole thing away. And then she said, then she threatened me with the whole, "You do know, sir, that I can prevent you from flying."
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go.
That just ignites it further. Yes.
Yes, that's right. Get adversarial. That'll win your customers, you fucking morons.
Yeah.
And I won't be editing that when I edit this show later. So I said to her, "Well, and how are you going to do that? Because I have the power."
Oh.
I have the power. I thought I was nearly going to break out in song.
Yeah, I have the power.
What is it? Some sort of, throwback 1990s rap music star, or what's going on?
What's going on here?
And so she just and then her supervisor came in and said, "Oh, what's going on?" And he says, "Can I help?" And I said, "You know what's going on. You overheard us. You've been standing over there, not more than 2 meters away." I said, "You know exactly what's going on. All I want to do is an acknowledgement that there was a screw up, instead of just apologising. Oh, these things happen. You don't want to blow it off." So this kept going for another 5 minutes. I said, "Look, don't worry about it. I'll be writing to your superiors. I'll see you later."
Yeah, get out of there.
Get out of there. Got out of there. So that was it. So that's it. That was my Jetstar. Don't fly Jetstar, people. Don't fly Qantas. Don't fly Virgin. Just stay home. Don't do anything. Just don't go anywhere.
Live under a rock.
That's right.
But so you will be following it up.
Let's see how my flight home goes.
They've got your number. That's going to be crap. So do you pay for? Do you buy meals on these planes?
I bought a meal on the plane. The funny thing is, when I got on there, the supervisor said, "I'll take a note of your seat," and I thought, "Well, you do that."
Yeah.
And when the meals came around, I didn't pre-purchase meals. When they came around with the trolley, they asked you if you want anything. I just got a chicken wrap or something.
Yeah.
But there was when the trolley came down, there was 2, 4, 5, 8, 11, 15 people in front of me in the seats, right? Because I'm in 3A, but there was 6 rows of 3, so 18 people.
Yep.
So 17 people in front of me. The trolley went straight to me first. They asked me first, would I like something to eat?
Good. So maybe they thought, okay, this guy's on the plane. We're not going to cause any trouble because we don't want him to blow up on the plane.
That's right. He could be a fuse. Could get testy.
That's right.
And I was very nice to them. I wasn't shirty or anything like that. But the woman that said that she can, I have the power.
Oh yeah, that's rubbish.
Was on the plane as one of the hosties. I thought, yeah, you got no power. If you can't fly a plane, you got nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing.
You got bugger all. You're just bloody underpaid,
Overweight.
over bloody too much makeup, stupid bitch.
Tell her to lose weight.
Yeah, she was actually quite attractive. That's what made it even more difficult. I don't like yelling at attractive people. I'll yell at ugly people all day. But
well, that's fair enough too. That's fair enough. Now,
well, not ugly, mean people. Not ugly just because you're ugly.
Yeah, but just with an attitude.
If you got attitude, I'll rip you a new one, good looking or otherwise.
Yeah.
So she was on the plane. She refused to make eye contact with me the whole time there.
Yeah.
She'd be up and down, she'd be looking around, and every time I looked up, she'd So
you won that one.
I won that one.
Eric won, lady nil.
Yeah, Eric won, Jetstar slag bucket 0.
Now, other than that, you arrived in Brisbane and it's sunny. Everything's good. Everything's nice and
everything's good. It's humid. It's fine. The hotel is good as usual. I've stayed here many times.
Oh yeah,
it's I get the usual customary welcome back, Mr. Franco. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, right. Or maybe they just know you by they probably get a printout or something to can tell.
Oh, look, they don't know me personally, but when you make a booking, they see your previous history.
Yeah, and it probably comes up on the screen when you swipe in or whatever. It probably comes up and it'll say he's been here 600 times before. Yeah,
that's right. So they always say that. They always say, it's good customer service to acknowledge the fact that you've been here before.
Now, can we ask what hotel it is that you're staying at?
The Hilton.
Yeah. Oh, so that should be pretty nice then.
Yeah, it's not too bad, the one in Brizzy, but it's some of the rooms need some work.
Yeah.
The room I've got's not too bad. I've stayed there in the past where the rooms were a little bit, need some renovations, but I think they've done a bit of work there, so it's not too bad.
Now, why do you choose like the Hilton? Do you like the Hiltons around the place, or is that just you've been there once and you liked it, so you head back?
Look, it's convenient to where I have to go when I'm up here.
Right.
The conference is just the conferences are always held just close by, and it seems to be the closest hotel. So
this is in the city. I don't know where the Hilton is, but it's in the city.
It's in the city, yeah.
Right. So, because I've stayed in Brisbane once, and the only place I've ever stayed in is at the Treasury Casino, and I really loved it. I thought that was a really, really nice place.
That's quite a nice place. That's actually owned by the Hilton people as well.
Oh, right. Because I just thought, that was a really not like the rooms are just like they're big old offices, and they're just they're
just. It's in the old building, right? It's in that old Treasury building.
That's right. And
that's a beautiful hotel. That's a Conrad, which is a Hilton. Conrad Hilton was the do.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful.
Look, I loved it. I think it was great. You walk downstairs, you're into the bar, you're into the games, and just walk upstairs and fall into bed. It's great.
Yeah, look, very nice. It's very nice.
I'd do that again. Do it again. That's nice. So
I'll tell you what. Next time I'm up on a conference, I think you should come up.
We'll try and organise that.
Brisbane. We'll try and organise something. It's only an hour and a half away from you.
Oh, not even that. I can catch.
You can get a train, whatever. You got to bring your gear up.
Well, podcast live in the streets of Brisbane.
That's right, on the balcony of Brisbane.
Yeah. We'll sort something out. Now. Now you got some chewing the fat stories that you wanted to chew the fat with.
Yes, chewing the fat. Now during the week, our illustrious leader, Comrade Gillard, Gillard, was in South Korea, embarrassing the shit out of herself as usual. And the headline is Gillard strikes a wrong note with ordinary Koreans. This is a comment by a journalist. It doesn't help Prime Minister Julia Gillard that she has to stand alongside Barack Obama as she endeavours to show her mettle on the world stage. I hope that's all she wants to show on the stage, because I tell you what, the rest of it isn't good.
And I hope it's there's no poll anywhere around. That's not the medal that they're talking about.
I won't read this whole article, but there was a Q&A with some students. Okay.
Yep.
Now, let me just see this.
So she did do some press, and I did see her talking to some school students, like younger school students. Are they the ones is this the part you're talking about, or is it like older students? This one was a law student. Oh, okay. I didn't see this one.
She asked a question. Oh, God, what was his question? He asked a question, and he was upset. I'll give her answer in a minute. She asked the question, and the student, said to, why do you think she didn't answer my question? Asked law student Yoo Hee-in after Miss Gillard's speech at Yonsei University yesterday afternoon. Gillard stuck word for word to her script on Australia and Korea and partners and friends. And Miss Yoon, this is the question, had asked her an on-topic question about racial discrimination faced by her relatives and friends in Australia. Right? So that's pretty simple.
Yep. It's probably a hard question, but it's a simple question.
Probably a hard question to answer, but not a hard question to understand.
No.
And you would think that as a politician and someone who's supposedly intelligent would come up with something slightly diplomatic. Even though you're not answering the question, you might have come up with something that made the student feel a little bit better about things or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he asked a question about racial discrimination faced by her relatives and friends in Australia. Her answer was, we do stand resolutely with you on security challenges. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was the answer. How the frick is that relevant to the question? Leaving the student bewildered and a little upset.
Yeah, that's...
are one of Australia's largest export markets, paying close to $1 billion a year to Australian colleges and universities.
So, look, this is the problem with everything these days, and I think it goes across both sides, wherever you want. Is that you don't? Why can't these people come out and just be a bit more fair dinkum about what they believe and what they like? Say, if Julie Gillard, if she, why didn't she come out and say what she believes? Says yes, I think that your people are treated like crap over here, or something like that. You know,
or she say something. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know all the details of that situation. Maybe you'll be able to get in touch with a local member or something.
Yeah, but why couldn't they? Yeah. But I just think you've got to see more of the real people in these politicians. You know, more of what they're really thinking. Just forget all this spin all the time. Yeah, now, just forget all this spin. It's
constant spin. It's all it is. It's constant.
Yeah, they wrap themselves up.
There's a second question by Mr. Ken Yun, who's head of the accounting firm in Korea of KPMG, so a global firm, right? Very educated man.
Yeah.
Mr. Yun asked Mrs. Gillard what she thought about the matter closest to his heart, the plight of 100,000 North Korean refugees who have crossed the border into China, many who are repatriated or sent back, or shot. He expected Miss Gillard would have a view on one of the world's great refugee dilemmas, or at least show some curiosity, given that she had been talking about the impoverishment that has caused it. So she's already covered this topic. Instead, the answer was, Australia shares South Korea's concerns about security. The same answer she gave the other student.
It's pretty hopeless.
It's pathetic. People, don't vote for this moron.
Yeah. Why can't? What is it that she can't think straight? She's not very good at the foreign affairs part.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think she can think on her feet. Full stop.
Yeah.
If it's not written for her, if it doesn't come out of her own brain and her own mouth, she's a blubbering mess. I think she is just completely out of her depth when it comes to, she was barely a decent education minister, let alone a bloody prime minister. She's a joke.
Well, I suppose you got Bob Carr going around saying probably the wrong thing. He's probably not spinning.
Slagging off Indonesia the first day he got into office.
Yeah. But at least I suppose he's saying what he must think. So that's all you can ask for, isn't it? Really.
Idiot.
But
he's another idiot. You got to remember, he did nothing for New South. Bob Carr was good at one thing, and that was winning elections. And you can see and same as the Labor Party in Queensland, they were good at winning elections, but not much else.
Did you hear I was going to say, did you know how the Anna Bligh, the pre-Queensland Premier, she resigned?
Yes.
So now apparently there's a story going around, believe it if you will, or whatever. But now, because she resigned so quickly and so hastily, that she's secured for herself a $150,000 a year pension. If she had have stayed on and went to the back benches, her rest of her life pension would have been a lot lower, because apparently their superannuation is based on the wage at the time of claiming.
Your last job.
Well, the time of
salary.
the last salary. So she's resigned before the salary went down.
Yeah, because the backbenchers get about half that.
Yeah, right. And then there was another story about the husband. He's got some climate change.
Again, he's done what's good for Queensland instead of what's good for her. Not.
But then the husband, he's the head of some climate change bureau or something, some pulley thing. And so anyway, apparently Bligh's had a trip to the deep of France, for a year, 12-month. They're going to organise a trip to France. So anyway, so the husband comes out and he's...
You know why they're going to France? Because it's a communist freaking country.
So the husband's come out and he says, well, my contract states that when you sack me, well, you got to pay me $600,000. That's in the contract. And so Campbell Newman's turned around and said, I'm not sacking you. You still got a job, mate. I want you to undo what you've done. He goes,
that's right.
You've still got a job, but you got to undo everything that you've done over the last 4 years.
Exactly. Your job is to fix your own mess, clean up your own shit.
Isn't that funny? You've got to undo what you've done. We're not paying.
He's going to hate that too. It's going to be the beautiful thing about it is he'll resign because he's going to hate what he's doing. They're going to say, well, you've got to do this now. I'm your boss. Yeah. I'm telling you, as part of your duties, this is what it is. If you don't like it, you can resign. But I'm not sacking you, because if I sack you,
We've got to
I'm
pay
going to
you.
pay you 600 grand. So you can sit there and weep and cry in your own communist milk, and just suck it up, precious boy.
So-
Communist red undie prick.
So it's it's good. That's a good decision by
Good on you.
the can-do man. So all right. So we finished with Julia, and
With Julia.
what else have you got there on the barbecue ready to sizzle?
Right. Now, hockey questions Swan on budget cuts. Now, I'm not going to read that whole thing. It says here, Swanee says, the reality is that we need to cut and cancel existing programs. Yeah, one program you can cancel is the Prime Minister's office, you moron. If we are to meet our targets, we'll need to redirect some spending to where is needed most. Well, we all know where that's going to be, our marginal seats.
Yep. True.
In the mid-year, this is what I've highlighted. In the mid-year budget update released last November, Treasury forecasts a $1.5 billion surplus. Now, that was last November. Things have changed since then. The world economy's got worse. The demand from China has slackened off. There is less receipts going to come in from the mining tax because there is less iron ore being sold. So that's not going to, and hence that's why he's come up with the whole, we're going to have to redo the budget. And so they reckon it's a Treasury forecast of a $1.5 billion, whoopee-doo, $1.5 billion surplus. I mean, really?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the best you can do.
But it's only because he's pushed back a lot of the spending till the next year. Ask him what the 2014 budget is going to be like. It's probably going to be a bloody...
Would Bella tell you, because it's embarrassing. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's after a $37 billion deficit this year. So it's closer. That's going to be closer to 40.
Yeah.
He remains determined to deliver the surplus. See, these guys, the only reason they want to deliver a surplus is so they can go to the election and say, we did a surplus in 2013 for 2012.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. And then the following year, it's going to be a disaster after disaster after disaster. And the year before the next election, it'll be another tiny little, we made $1 surplus, vote for us.
Yep. Who are the economic managers now? Woo.
That's right. Yeah. Opposition Treasury spokesman Joe Hockey said on Thursday, outcome was never what was promised, and the government was addicted to spending. Before each budget, he always promises Armageddon. He does this every year. Oh, it's going to be a tough budget, blah, blah, blah. So he plays up the whole, it's going to be the worst budget in history at $100 billion deficit, and it comes in at 40. And we thought, oh, gee, it wasn't as bad as we thought. Everyone thinks he's a hero, right? You know, that under-promise,
Under-promise, over-deliver.
Yeah, over-deliver. Yeah. So he says, a Swan is not going to change its spots. Now, he's come down here, Costello's come down here and said, Howard-era Treasurer Peter Costello said, Mr. Swan should be concentrating on the current year's budget, which has already blown out to a deficit of nearly $40 billion, rather than make endless promises about the next one. True. And he said, let's suppose the budget gets into surplus in a year or two's time, and it's a $1 billion surplus. How many $1 billion surplus would you need to counteract the $40 billion deficit of this year?
That's right.
Well, 40. So it's going to be 40 years. If they keep just running $1 billion deficit, it's going to be 40 years just to pay back this year's budget. Yes. What about the previous year, the year before that, the year before that? This government is a disaster. They should be running for a $10 billion surplus.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, well, if they can. But I know. Oh, look, you can understand that the tax receipts and that are low, but still, they've got to. I don't know what they're going to do. Who knows?
Well, the tax receipts are low, but if they didn't spend so much, the low tax receipts wouldn't be such an issue.
Yeah, true. But yeah, they do. And then now you got the whoever they are, Civil Liberties or ACOS, whoever they are. They want to give people on the dollar an extra $50 a week.
Gee, what else you want? Put your hand out. Get off your ass and work, you stupid pricks.
Yeah.
Gee, everyone else has to.
Get a job.
Get a job. Stop surfing at Byron Bay.
Yeah, that's right. Go and get a job. Now, you got something. Do you want to talk about what do you got? You got another political one here. What's this Queensland tsunami?
Oh, that's a similar sort of. It's just a wrap up of what's going to happen next year. They're basically saying that. This is written by Peter Costello. It was on the Sydney Morning Herald, so do a search for that. smh.com.au. Search for Queensland tsunami. It's not about a wave that's coming. Or it's big.
Well, it might be a big blue wave that's going to sweep the whole country.
I see blue wave.
Oh, you love it. Put the tissues away. All right, put down the glasses.
Put down the glasses. He's over. It's over and done with. No, I was just basically saying that they're heading towards the same 8 seats next year, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Gee, that'd be good though. Think about that. Federal Labor Party, 8 seats.
Do you reckon, has Tony Abbott got the same, say, delegation or same authority as what, say, Campbell Newman would have because the Labor Party's got under 10?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, of course he would.
But
Absolute majority. Yeah.
No, but Newman can say disendorse the Labor Party as a party and therefore not give them any funding.
Yeah, wouldn't that be funny?
But do you think that can Tony Abbott do that in the federal arena?
Well, it'd probably need the vote of the Senate as well, I would say.
Right.
But if he had a majority in the Senate, well, who knows what's possible.
But you'd love that, wouldn't you? You'd love it.
If you were a mean sort of person, think about this, right? This article basically says that if Queensland aren't going to win one seat at the next the next federal election, the Labor Party aren't going to win one Queensland seat based on the results last weekend. That is enough. If they keep every other seat they've got now, that will be enough to throw them out into the gutter and give the Liberals a pretty good majority. Yeah. Right? That's just Queensland. Now, could you imagine, to make that a guaranteed result, if Campbell Newman said, nah, not giving you any funding. Not going to do it.
I don't know.
Because you're not a party. I can't, sorry. Rules are rules.
Yeah. But I don't know if he would do that. It'd probably be seen as not the right thing to do.
That's right. He won't do it because you never know. One day it might happen to the Liberals.
Well, it did happen.
Well, it did happen.
Yeah.
But we still got party status, right? They didn't take that away. So he's thinking, I don't want to burn my bridges too much because you just don't know what's around the corner. He's not that arrogant. If it was Costello, I reckon he'd do it. He'd go, you know what? You screwed this country for over this state for over nearly 20 years in Queensland. You don't deserve to be a party. And if they didn't get any funding in Queensland, they couldn't win the next federal election. They just couldn't.
I find it interesting that there's been a whole lot of hullabaloo about the public transport. Up here, the trains, they don't run at a profit or anywhere near a profit. The fares are going up. Everything's going up. Like it cost us. We went up to Brisbane on train the other week, and for us, there was two adults and we had to pay for one child. And probably the return trip, it was about $10 each way for the adults, each adult, and I think it was about $6 or $7 each way for Izzy. So that's $20.
That's pretty pricey.
That's what?
It's very pricey.
Yeah, I know Brisbane's a fair way away. It's an hour away. I understand all this.
But you would have been cheaper. You wouldn't have cost you that much in petrol.
No, probably not. But then you just had the hassle of driving and then had the hassle of parking and all that sort of stuff. So at the end of the day, the kids like the train. So, but yeah, 20, 40, say $50. Yes, probably would have been cheaper in the car. But that isn't that what the whole thing's about? Like you take the public transport to stop using the car. That's the whole point.
See, what I don't understand is how can you keep increasing fares but never make any money? Is that a Labor government thing that this money just goes into the ether, it just disappears? Most people, like for example, right, Glenn, let's say you decided that you're going to convert your garage and you're going to have a state-of-the-art PC building business.
Yep.
And you're selling your PCs for $1,000 each and you're making, let's call it $100 per PC, right? You do 10 a week and you're making $1,000 a week profit, right? Just say.
Yep.
Now, you put up your prices, like the train puts up their prices, just say $50.
Yep.
So you're making $150 a week.
Yep.
A PC or $1,500 a week.
Yep.
That money's going straight to your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Your costs haven't increased. Just your sale prices have.
Yeah.
So what is it with Labor governments that they increase their prices, but they're spending it faster than they're making it? That any increase they make it just disappears. Yeah. It's just communist economics. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
But at the end of the day, does the treasurer sit down with a profit and loss? You know, or equivalent to on a massive scale. I know.
Treasurer, or
How do they sort of sit down and go, okay, we've got so much money here. This is how much we can spend.
Yeah, this is what's coming in. This is what we've got. This is what's due to come in, and this is what's due to go out.
Yeah, yeah.
They should be looking at that weekly. Now, I doubt, in my mind, if Andrew Fraser has ever seen a profit and loss or a balance sheet in his life.
Oh.
That's the ex-Queensland Treasurer, if anyone was wondering. Not that anyone cares anymore because he's a tool bag.
Lost his seat. So
lost his seat.
And so what? So what happens with these people that lose their seats? Like say Andrew Fraser. So he's lost it. He was the treasurer. Now he's no longer even an MP. What is he? Is he unemployed?
Unemployed. I called it last week on Chewing the Fat. I said Monday morning there are going to be 50 ex-Queensland Labor ministers flipping burgers, and I was right.
Yes, yeah. So that's well, apart from their pensions or whatever they're doing, but they got no job. They
got no job. They've got to clear their offices out. But
their job, if they want to, do they stand as an opposition person while there's the government, or are they just an opposition at election time if they're not in the parliament?
They can only put their hand up to run for a seat at the next election. Until then, they have no place in parliament. They don't get paid. They're not in opposition.
They're just nothing.
When the next election comes around, they're just a candidate, like every other person that will put their hand up, and whether it be an independent or a green cool bag.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, he's obviously looking for some job then. Oh, well.
For a job. You know what? The thing is, some idiot will hire him. And in days gone by, if you look, for example, Bob Carr, you resign and you hand over the reins to another idiot. And I think in this case it was Morris Yemmer, who actually wasn't a bad guy, but he was just completely inept. But he was a good guy. Handed the poison chalice. And so because there's still, your party is still in government to, like a 50-50 sort of way, there's still a lot of seats in there. So someone hires you because you've still got some influence, you can lobby on their behalf. Like he was hired by Macquarie Bank, for example. Right? Yeah. Within weeks of resigning, which to me is a conflict of interest and completely unethical. You should not be hired by anybody that's got an interest in doing government business. There should be, and I think they put a law in after Bob Carr did that and said it's 2 years. Once you leave politics, it's 2 years before you're allowed to be hired by someone like Macquarie, who was building toll roads at that time. Yeah. But so he got hired to lobby on their behalf.
Yeah.
The transport minister, for example, right, which was an old mate. I think that's a massive scam.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that sort of thing, if someone will hire you, if they can see some benefit in you having some influence still in government, because a lot of your colleagues are still there. But who's going to hire Fraser? Because there's only 8 of them there. But they don't really have any influence.
Do they all get to sit together?
Yeah, it was so funny. Did you see the picture in the news?
No, which one?
They were at Ipswich RSL, and I'll paint a picture for you. They're at this table that looked like it's been there since 1953. It had a plastic tablecloth on it. These plastic chairs that looked like someone just got from a caravan park and just put them around the table. In this dodgy-looking hall that looked like it hadn't been swept for years and years and years. Yeah. And they were having their first caucus meeting. I thought, you know what? Couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of people. I just imagine some old biddy with blue rinse hair coming out saying, "Can I get anyone a cup of tea?"
But is it do you have to have a certain amount of numbers to make a caucus? Or is it just...
Oh, you can have any amount to have a caucus.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. That is funny.
That's so funny. And they all got there in one car. At least the Labor Party will save money on freaking,
public transport.
Public transport and taxi fares now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but anyway, that's where I was going before with that public transport business. Is that whatever her name is, that Anastasia, whatever her name, she was the transport minister. Now she's going for premier. She couldn't run the trains. How the hell is she going to run the state? Yeah.
Not only that, no one can spell a name.
Yeah, that's right. It's Anna somebody. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, but like, what's going on? What's going on?
Look, they're gone. Everyone knows that the first person that gets the opposition job, doesn't last. And she's thinking, you know what? I know I'm not going to last here, but if I get booted out, my final salary is opposition leader salary, so my pension will be sweet.
Yep.
So they do it for a really selfish reason. She's not doing this because she cares about the Labor Party and we're going to do our best and we're going to rebuild and all these cliches and spin and bullshit that they come out with. She's got no interest in any of that. This is a chance for me to earn a shitload of money at the Queensland taxpayers' expense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Probably right. Probably right too.
But
Anyway, so if you have got nothing else, I think we might be coming towards the end of the fat for this week.
That's right. That's the political version of Chewing the Fat. That's the Queensland route wrap-up. And very good. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. And thank you, Glenn, for recording, running the board.
That's okay.
This episode of Chewing the Fat
running the board
brought to you
tonight
by
while I'm in
Secret Hub
Brisbane.
Studios
And I'll
in
be back
conjunction with
next.
netchannel2.com.
See you all, and Goodman.